In this video, let's talk about some auxiliary sends and monitors. Everything we've been talking about so far has been input. We go to our individual control manipulation. We then use the channel level to mix, and then it comes to our mains, and then it goes out to our speakers left and right. But there are other kinds of speakers that we use and other speaker systems we use on stage, like stage monitors. And what a monitor allows is for a singer or a musician or anyone to be able to hear themselves, right? So oftentimes the sound on stage and the sound coming through the main speakers, right, isn't sufficient for them to actually hear what they're doing and to be able to hear each other on stage. So what we have to do is provide them with speakers that aim back at the performer, right? So you can see in this example here all these speakers that are aimed up at the singer. And this guitar player here has these series of speakers that are aimed at them. And that's so that they can hear the other band members, the other vocalists, the other singers, and all of this monitor, these speakers here, they require a very different mix, right? They want to hear things differently than maybe what the audience will hear, right? So we need a separate send, and that's known as an aux send, an auxiliary send, or a monitor send. And you'll see on our soundboard, there's this blue knob. It's right above pan, right? And this aux send is a completely separate send that is independent of our level control and our mains control. It is a separate output and completely independent. And we often use that for monitors, right? Our level adjusts our mains, but our aux is adjusted in another way. And we have a separate set of outputs. Rather than using our mains left and right, there is now an auxiliary output. And we can plug into this and plug into a different amplifier and a different set of speakers so that we can control things differently. Let's look at an example. Right? So if I have a lead singer that is plugged into microphone 1, I see that I have these aux 1 on each one of the channels. And by rolling this up or down, I send it over to an aux main, right? So this is the overall level for all of my aux 1s. And this one down here is my aux 2 main, which controls all of my aux 2 sends. Yes? So if we wanted to make the lead singer louder, we would just turn up their channel number 1. We can see that our lead singer is plugged into microphone 1, and to make them louder we would just turn up their level. That would send more signal to the mains and it would make them sound louder. If we wanted to make the guitar louder, we look at our guitar is plugged in to channel 4, and we would just turn up the level on channel 4, which would send more signal to the mains, and we would hear it. Now, when we get into monitors, if the lead singer wants to hear more of the guitar in their monitor, and in this example, we're sort of assuming that the lead singer is the guitar player, the backup singer is the keyboard player, we can see our monitor for our lead singer and guitar player is monitor 1, is connected to auxiliary 1, right? So now the guitar player the lead singer wants to hear more of the guitar, right? So here's my guitar signal coming into channel 4. If I go down to auxiliary 1 and I turn up auxiliary 1, it's going to send more signal to my auxiliary 1 mains, which sends more signal out of my auxiliary 1 and more signal into the monitor 1, which is the lead singer's monitor speaker. Now, what if the backup singer needs to hear more of the lead singer in their monitor? So let's start with where we're at. The backup singer needs to hear more of the lead singer. So here's our backup singer, and our backup singer and keyboard player is listening to monitor 2. So what I want to do is be able to turn up monitor 2, right? But monitor 2, the backup singer needs to hear more of the lead singer. So here's my lead singer, and they're connected to channel 1. If I come down and turn up auxiliary 2, it's going to send more of the lead singer's signal to my auxiliary 2 mains, and then that'll come out of auxiliary 2 output, and it'll send more of the lead singer into monitor 2. I'll do it one more time. Our lead singer signal comes in. I turn up the auxiliary 2 send for that channel, goes to my auxiliary 2 mains, goes out of the soundboard through our auxiliary 2 into monitor 2, and so now the lead singer is louder in monitor 2. Now what happens? Our lead singer likes their monitor mix, but they want the whole thing to be a little bit louder. Here's our lead singer, and they like the sound of monitor 1. Maybe they have a little guitar and a little keyboard and a little backup, right? That we have all these things that are mixed in a little bit to make monitor 1 sound the way that they like it, but they want it all just a little bit louder. We can just adjust the auxiliary 1 mains mix. We could turn this up a little bit, which will send a little more signal out of the auxiliary 1 and make this monitor speaker a little bit louder. So that's a little bit about monitor mixing and auxiliary sends and how we can do that. Let's look at a more sophisticated system, right? So this is a little bigger light board, or a little bigger soundboard. You can see that it has 4 auxiliary sends. So there are 4 monitors on stage. It also has 9 input channels, right? So soundboards, they get bigger, but the basic idea of input and then input sensitivity and equalization, high, low, mid, signal routing, where are we going to send our signal, aux 1, 2, 3, 4, or pan, our individual level, our mains output, and our auxiliary mains, right? So all of it is all about the same. They just wind up getting a little larger and more complex. But the same principles apply to all sound mixers.